The Power Up project is supported by Comic Relief. It's implemented with Women African Alliance. Women African Alliance is headquartered in Johannesburg in South Africa. The other partner in the project is CNRG, Center for Natural Resources Governance, based in Zimbabwe. This project started in 2020. It was supposed to be 3 years, but at that time, at the inception, we were confronted with the COVID-19 lockdown. So we did not implement the activities as was originally planned. We were flexible since we could not hold in-person meeting. But somehow we were still able to interview project beneficiaries from identified project sites. The project has 3 sites: Abua, Onelga, that is Ebema or Okuzi, and then Eleme in Ogoni. They were interviewed on impact of COVID-19 on women and how they were coping with the lockdown. It was an interesting story because as at that time, markets were closed, people were just restricted to their homes, but there were stories about women setting up alternative markets, women, how they were coping with challenges of lack of access to clean water and with the safety protocol of regular washing of hands with running water. Those were the initial activities that we had. But then those 3 project sites were also able to hold women convenings to identify the issues they are saying no to. Since the focus of our project is the right, building the power and the capacity of community women to say no. So they had to identify, what are we saying no to? One project site said they are saying no to lack of women access to land. The Eleme women said they were saying no to lack of access to water. The Abua women said no to women exclusion from decision-making processes.
What are the experiences of oil extraction in your community?
In Okwizi, in Onega, River State, women are experiencing a lot of harm from oil extraction, like pollution. Pollution has killed our land, that women do not earn anything as from planting. Our occupation is farming and fishing, but the pollution has destroyed our water. We do not have any fish in the water. Our land do not yield any good fruit again. Initially when we plant, we have to harvest a good tubers of yam, but today when you harvest, you will only harvest roots.
Eleme is a strategic place that, if I say oil started for a long time, and because of that long time and impact, it has had a lot of impact on our oil, on our soil, air and water mostly. Our water is so polluted that the color of the water is fine, beautiful, but the taste is so bad that you cannot even take it to your nose. And it's been like that for a long time, especially in the Alode community and the Sisioken community, which we hardly drink our water. The water, and as a result of that, this oil, the Ogoni cleanup came up, and then they started doing the cleanup. And since we have been doing a lot of advocacy with the trainings we have had with Kebetkache, we have done a lot of advocacy to the chiefs, to even the BOT member of High Prep, and we have even done protests sometime to High Prep and had a lot of visits to High Prep. For now, 2 years ago, they flag up water project in Eleme, and I can say that that water project in the Ogoni land as a whole, and that water project has not really had a good impact, because they run this water one day, after 4 days again they will run again, and it's still the same thing because the people still use the same bad water, and as a result of that there are a lot of illnesses Even as 4 years ago, I had rashes all over my body because of that kind of water. And you can imagine pregnant women drink it, little children drink it, and as a result of that, there's a lot of sicknesses, impotency, infertility among our youth. You can't walk on Eleme Road now and see 4 or 5 women pregnant as a result of that.
The major thing we have in Abua is this smoke fire issue, where it has cost a lot of lives. And the health challenge we are facing there is this pollution that is all over in Abua Odual, where women can no more breathe, have a good breath. We are having corrosive skin. A lot of women are having corrosive skin in Abua. And again, another thing that we have experienced now is this high rate of cancer and kidney failure.
Early blindness, you see them waist pain, you see women giving birth and the children are dying, giving birth to what I don't understand.
Most in Eleme land now, you will see, if you come to Eleme land, you will see so many women, and even our husbands. You will see cancer, you will see BP, even small child. I don't know. It doesn't happen like that before, but now almost everybody is suffering for BP patient. Their eyes, they don't have eyes again. You see most of our women carrying eyeglasses, going out without eyeglasses, they can't go out. Raffia pan in our place, we normally drink it, but because of this oil spirit now, we don't have a raffia pan again for us to drink. Because if you don't drink it now, slight mistake, you drink anyone now, you will continue to purge. Imagine when you take something that will cause you purge, what is going to happen to your head?
What action have you been able to take so that your voices will be heard? Since in the community, men are the head, and you cannot do anything without them, we have paid advocacy visits to the paramount ruler to let them know what we are passing through. And they confirm that what we are passing through, men is also passing through the same problem, because many men are now impotent. They cannot impregnate their women anymore.
We visited the BOT person. He's one of the hybrid board of trustee some 2 years ago, and there was not a good report for us. But for that, we have done that, and then we try to sensitize our women, because even as our soils are not having any yield, the women are shouting out, and we try to do sensitization for them to understand that it's not an ordinary thing, that the soil, the ground is not yielding again. So those sensitization and things we have done to the women, and the water, they are managing to see water one day, they are happy. When they see that one, they will fetch it and keep it for 4 days again before they will now get another water.
Also, tell us some of the cultural and traditional practices that limit women not to say no.
Okay, a lot of traditional culture that we are facing in Abua. One, women are not among in the decision making in the community. Secondly, we don't even have rights in our own properties. As a woman in a family, we are not accessible to our own father's inheritance. The other one again that we also have, which we are demanding and we are saying right to say no, is all about this GMOU in the companies that are all over in Abua Odual. Women are not carried along.
So what are the women doing in all this? Okay,
with this we have taken a lot of advocacy. We paid advocacy visit to the chairman of council of Abua Odual, demanding the right for him to include women in his cabinet, and also for women also should be carried along in the GMOU, because a lot of companies are there in Abua Odual where women don't even have any right to say. And again, we have already taken another advocacy visit to visit the Wema of Abua, which is the Dabuan King in Council. We also took another advocacy to the community chief and CGC in most of the communities in Abua Odual.
And what are your demands?
Our demand, women should also be included in decision making, also in their cabinet. Also, women should also be part of the CGC in council. And the only success story that we've gotten in some of the communities, especially in Ogbema community, we have a woman leader that has been included in the CDC in council. That is one of our success stories that we've gotten.
A lot like in Okwizi community, the chiefs, there is no way they're having a meeting or whatever in the place they're supposed that they involve women. They don't involve women. Mostly women are not even invited in terms of their programs. They are excluded. Only men have meetings for themselves alone and they conclude on their own self.
Element and no-go area, we inherit it. They say, you know, in element land, all the barbad culture, all the barbad law, then push it to women. In element land, as far as you are a woman, you can't dare where our men, if they are selling a land, they will not give a dime to a woman. But if they are on the process of selling that land, they will send a woman message. A woman will be there. But when the money come out, they will not give a dime to a woman. They say that is the culture. For example, if our father sick or our mother sick, you will see they will call woman to go and take care of their father and their mother. But when the father and the mother will die, it is the woman that will be buried highest burial. But when they will share the property, the father's property, they will not even give one portion of house to that woman pikin.
Over the years, the project has really built women capacity to identify issues that are not working for them in their communities. Those who were looking at issues of access to land were even able to get their community stakeholders to listen to them to the extent that they also achieved women inclusion because the chiefs and the king accepted to include women in processes of decision making. So as at now, in that community, there are women as CDC members. CDC is Community Development Committees. And now that communities are setting up the PIA host community development committees, women are also positioning themselves to be part of that committee. In Eleme, the local advocacy actions also yielded efforts when it comes to creating access to water. The different engagement with the media to call on high prep to implement the recommendations of the UNEP report and provide water facilities in Ogoni was also achieved, in part, not 100%, because the Federal Minister for Environment later on commissioned the water project in Ogoni by refurbishing 6 water projects in Eleme. As at the last time that project was monitored, most of the projects are completed, but outlet distribution to families' compound in Eleme was an issue because some of the women complained that those of them that are widows, they will not be recognized for those distribution points to be extended to them. But at least there was that response that the water project action had already been taken, and at least there was a starting point that water is provided, and there were places where women can go and access water. In Abua, success also has been recorded in terms of women amplifying their voices on issues of impact of extraction activities on women and also on women exclusion.
And today we are here at the oil spill site in Eleme, and with the women we work together, and they took us down to where the main oil spill started, but unfortunately we were not allowed to stand here to do anything or to look at the spill because the boys, there are some community surveillance there, and they say that the Shell company have gone to their paramount to negotiate, so they don't want anybody, they don't want NGO, they don't want individuals to just come there to see what is happening. Just look at the water. Their farmland is being destroyed. Their means of livelihood is being destroyed. These women are farmers. These women are fisher folks. And you can see that even we that are standing here, we cannot even breathe very well. It's disturbing us. Shell and the community leaders have already negotiated, and these women are helpless. They can't do anything because they don't have the power, and they are not being included in decision negotiation table. That is the most painful part, because these things affect them more than every other person. Please, can you tell us about this oil spill? When did it happen? What happened?
It actually, we noticed it on the 11th, Sunday before this last Sunday. We just noticed that oil was just flowing with the water. As the water was flowing, it was flowing. So that's how we saw it. And then we came here, I think on Monday. We came here, not on Friday last week. We came to see it physically with our eyes. And it is so devastating. It affects women's livelihood because you can hear, as you're here, the breath is not very, the air is not very clear. And it affects women, particularly the elderly and young children. And the whole community here, that is the kind of air they are breathing. And then our farmlands are washing down the whole oil and everything on the farmlands, because as the water flows, it flows, takes the oil to our farmlands, and then as it comes back to the farmlands that are here, it is affected too.
Since then, when we heard about this, on the 11th, on Sunday morning precisely, I was going to church, and I noticed such thing that the oil spill on the water was much. So Monday last week, we were here, we came here, and when we came here, at that very spot, we saw the pipe burst, and it's really deep. It's like landsliding. The land was like filled with oil. It can no longer collect, and it was just much. And we said, even the plantation behind there, everything was just bad. So, but we realized that since the oil is filled, the water is filled with oil, it's flowing, and you know, whatever thing that is flowing, water links. One of the cultural practices that are leaving women not to say no is one. If they are selling of land, woman will not near. If a father died, the women will do all the burial rites. It is the women that do all the burial rites, but when there is time to share father's property, they will not even give a dime to the female children. They say that is the traditional law that was made by our forefathers. And when men are having meeting in the palace, just like when they took me, the female chief, they came to me and took me as a chief. Whenever we want to follow them to enter meeting, they will not allow us to join them with me. They say, women, we can't take this monthly flow to join with them. So when they have discussed everything finished, they will not call us.
Even as a chief?
Not all the meeting we follow them.
In Ebema, in Okwisi in particular, women have no right to make a decision with men. Like the chief, council of chiefs, there is no woman there. The CDC, the youth, all the action group, there is no woman among them. Wherever they are staying to make decision about Okwisi, women are not included. Even in the oil extraction, when they are going for the MOU, they don't include women. There is a meeting they had just of recent with NDDC. They selected two persons from each community. There is no woman that is among them. Women don't have any rights according to, due to their laws and their traditions. They say women have no power. When you go to your parents' house, they will say, go to your house, you are married, go to your husband's house. You go to your husband's house, they say, in Ebema, they say, Arushe Butarebuta. That means that you are juju that they carry from somewhere to this place. So you have no say to share anything. But responsibilities, they will remember you. Oh, call that woman, call that woman. But when it comes to benefit, you are not there.
The impact of the oil extractives in our land is so bad because it has been there even before we were born. And so our soil is bad, the water is bad, the air is bad. And then our farm and the livelihood of women, because I know that we go to farm and we plant, follow my mother and things like that. And even our cassava used to be very big. Sometimes you bring out just 4 roots of cassava, it has filled the basin of Gary. But now you bring out cassava and nothing comes
and nothing comes out of it because they are tiny, small cassava that you bring out from the ground. And so as a result of that, women's livelihood is not as it used to be. Even our water is polluted. Some of our mothers that go to fishing and things like that bring this small isam and oporo and things like that and sell. Before now, women depended on these things to feed their children and also to educate their children. But these days, we hardly see it again because the land is polluted, the water is polluted and everything. Our drinking water is polluted. The aqua life of women is no more there. And then the worst of it is the traditions and the customs of the place. Look at it now. Look at the corn now. See the kind of corn that we are bringing out from the land. Corn you planted for 5-6 months, you bring it out like this. So what can you sell out of this kind of thing and feed your children with? It's not there. Even if you're not selling it, at least the children should get food because the hunger in this country is so bad. And the women are those who are the home keepers, who give food to men now because there's no work. Men now are sitting at home and there is no work. And so the woman is the one who puts food on the table.
They went back to their community to take actions. Okuzi people, they did a stakeholder engagement with their community elders, and Abua, they take some actions, they do advocacy visit to their community elders, and Eleme advocates for potable drinking water.
And we have also done some storytelling whereby the women in their various communities tell their stories in different ways and what is affecting them.
In Abua specifically, to me, more impact have been made because Abua women have held stakeholders meeting, media briefing, they have held it twice, tree planting exercise, and the Abua women actually even took Kebetkache from Port Harcourt to Abuja to visit the Minister of State for Environment. To us, that was a huge achievement, that community women could engage a minister in Nigeria and they secured audience and took themselves, including Kebetkache people and women from other project side, to pay advocacy visit to the minister in Abuja. To us, that is the peak of the achievement of this Power Up project. And the minister was there, listening to us, responded to the women. The women were even supposed to be part of their delegation to COP27, though they did not have international passport to achieve that part. So to us, the Power Up project is a success. After the initial 3 years, the funder, Comic Relief, decided to add extra 2 years to the project. And this extra 2 years is called scaling up. In this scaling up, the women are also scaling up their actions and advocacy at the local level. 2022, Nigeria experienced one of the very disastrous flooding in history. And 2 of these project sites were affected. Okuzi was affected, completely cut off. When we went there with relief materials, we couldn't even access the community. Abua also was affected. In fact, those times we visited these 2 places with relief materials, we couldn't get to the final destination. We had to stop somewhere. Somebody came in a boat up to somewhere, and then they carried the relief materials and took it back to the community. In January, we had to buy cassava stems and distribute to the women farmers that were impacted by the flooding. So this level of Power Up, scaling up, is women telling their stories from the inception of the project up to this level, and also looking forward, because before we conclude in September this year, we are going to do envisioning. What kind of community do we want to see? What level of women activism do we want to see? And what level of the feminist activism in the communities do we want to see? So to us in Kebetkache and these women that we work with, power up means building the powers of the women to engage, to hold companies accountable, and to hold government stakeholders accountable. Another thing I did not add is that by this year, the project site increased from 3 project sites to 4 project sites. I believe that women in the field who are the direct beneficiaries of this project have also shared direct experiences on how they have been impacted by the Power Up project, and even how the Power Up project have positioned them to engage with the PIA process.
Women say no to gas flare.
No!
Women will say no to oil spill.
No!
Women will say no to land grabbing.
No!
Women will say no to widowhood practices.
No!
Women
Power!
Women
Power!
Women
Power!
Women
Support!